I would say, the gold medalist, it's pretty crazy when the whole world is watching and you're literally the best of the best at the biggest sporting event in every 4 years.
All right, Lydia Ko, welcome to the Scoop. Thank you for joining me. What'd we go with?
I got a pistachio raspberry. I normally actually like to get pistachio ice cream, so I've never had it with raspberry, so this is definitely a new flavor to try.
This is like one of the most famous spots in New York for their ice cream. It's really good. It's like a top spot.
Don't tell me.
Yeah,
because I'll probably go again.
So I just want to get to know you a little bit. Can you tell me? It is? Okay, good. I have to try mine. Can you tell me how you became a golfer?
I started because of my aunt, actually, and Sari Pak had won the 1998 U.S. Women's Open. I think because of that, a lot of Korean people got more interested in golf, and a lot of juniors started taking it up. And my parents said it was either between golf or ballet, and my aunt, who was a professor and loved to play golf in her free time, took me to the golf course, and then apparently, I can't remember the exact moment, but apparently I hit a shot with her club, and she cut a couple of her own clubs for me, and I was off, and I don't have the greatest flexibility, so it's a good thing I didn't go into ballet.
So did you do ballet at all, or no?
No ballet.
Okay, that's good.
Thank goodness.
Do you remember the moment where you realized you were like really good at golf?
I don't know, like even to this point, like I don't know, man, I am the best female golfer. It's kind of a weird, I mean, maybe you might say that to yourself for like a confidence booster, but I feel like that's just not me and how I think about things. But I am, grateful and excited that I can do something that I love and that is also work, and to be able to compete at the highest level. And I think that's when you've kind of made it, and to especially represent New Zealand at the Olympics, it's definitely kind of checked a lot of the boxes.
Totally. So you, like growing up, were very competitive. You won an LPGA event and a major super young. What was your like normal as a kid? Like, were you going to school normally? Can you tell me a little bit about?
I went to school like back in New Zealand, from elementary to high school, just like any kid. But I think I loved time at school that I kind of didn't like when 3:30 came along and I actually had to go practice. I liked spending time with my friends, and I went to school just like any other kid. I think when I did have breaks, sometimes I would come out and go hit balls, in between. But mainly my practices were over the weekend and after school.
Okay, so I'm interested in your interest in psychology because I studied psychology in school and absolutely loved it. And I know you've kind of said, maybe later on in your adulthood, that's something you'd want to explore. But where did that interest come from? And then kind of, do you see yourself going back into that area?
Yeah, I've actually always loved Criminal Minds or The Mentalist, things like shows that's involved with like why people do certain things. Maybe is it a mental thing or an environment thing? And I've just always been very intrigued about it, and especially in like social psychology. Luckily with the thing I do, like in golf, the mental side is huge. But I think it was more than just because I am a golfer and it would help me. It was more because I was just fascinated about why I do certain things, why other people do certain things, and maybe it is something that I keep pursuing, and maybe study counseling and maybe going to sports psychology. But it was just, I think I love those kind of shows, and I wanted to kind of get answers, not just like, oh, I get it, just because of the TV show.
Right. Do you have like a mental tip that works for you that you think another golfer might be able to benefit from?
No, I still actually work with a mental coach to this day. I've worked with her for a couple years, and I've worked with other people before. sometimes we talk about golf. Sometimes I talk about things off the golf course, or there's different relationships, or some of my struggles maybe off the course. And I think the biggest thing for me that has actually been beneficial is that it's just nice to have somebody that you can talk to. And she kind of puts it as if like she's a rubbish bin, and like I'm taking out the trash that I shouldn't really hold on to, and I like give it to her, and then I get good advice back. So it's actually a good way of putting that, and that's why I think my advice would be is to have somebody, whether it is like a therapist or a family friend that you can talk to about anything, and they're gonna give you advice that aren't like emotion related.
Yeah, that's really good. I've never thought of it like that. That's really interesting. So you mentioned the Olympics. You've been before. It's coming up again. Do you have a favorite, like, what is it like to compete, to go over there, not even just on the golf course, but to be an athlete in the Olympics? And do you have a favorite memory from that?
Yeah, I actually didn't stay in the village the past couple of times I played in the Olympics, but I went, and when you look at the gym area, it's kind of mind-blowing, because you think, oh, that person's an athlete, that person's got to look like this, but you see, because it's literally all sports, you see, different genders, different height, size, and it's pretty amazing that the word athleticism or athlete is not just like a stereotypical like Barbie doll.
Yeah.
It's just, it can be anyone, and to be there and see some of the strongest people that are like gymnasts, that are even shorter than me, to these tall basketball players that are like 6'7", 6'8". So it's just, I think that is kind of the surreal thing, and to know that I'm part of this club of being an Olympian, it's honestly something that I never imagined myself to be, and now that I am one, I'm very proud of that.
Was that a hard decision to make? Because I know a lot of like the men kind of went back and forth, or were you immediately kind of all in and competing in the Olympics?
I think so. It's just, it's always been a dream of mine. I think they announced it in like 2010, and I was like, I'm gonna be there at Rio, and I was so nervous on the first hole. I barely hit it on the club face, but it's just, you don't realize how much it means to you until that moment really comes, and to have been able to finish and get silver and stand on the podium, it gives you goosebumps, and I've never experienced like listening to my national anthem on the podium, but I would say, the gold medalist, it's pretty crazy when the whole world is watching and you're literally the best of the best at the biggest sporting event in every 4 years.
Is that the most nervous you've been on the course, or what would be the most nervous
Probably
you've ever been?
that one, and for the other time was just my first US Women's Open. I was so nervous I couldn't even line up my putt. So those two are probably the standouts and how I guess most nervous I was.
Okay.
But I get nervous, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be nervous on Thursday this week, but nerves are good for me, I think. I think when I was younger, I wanted to not get nervous, because it's a feeling that you're not really used to and you can't control, but now I know that it means a lot to me, and because I want to play the best I can, that's why I'm getting nervous. So I'm trying to take the good of this kind of the feeling that you can't control.
Yeah, the discomfort. You just kind of have to. So I want to back up to your first ever win, or LPGA win, 15 years old? Yes. How does a 15-year-old celebrate that? What did you do?
I probably had ice cream.
Yeah.
I probably had ice cream, too young to drink even in Canada. Probably had Korean food. I don't know, like, I do say that I wish I understood how meaningful that moment was. I think now if I win, like it hits me more, because I think I just know now how difficult it is, and just know that I'm literally playing alongside the best of the best.
Yeah.
But I think at that age, of course, I know like I'm playing alongside the best female golfers, but I don't think you grasp it as well as I think when you have spent a little bit more time on tour. And I wish I could relive it again and maybe celebrate more. But yeah, it was probably nothing too exciting, and probably ice cream involved. Yes.
So I just have a couple more for you. One is everyone, you know, when you're in contention, everyone's talking about getting to the Hall of Fame. What would that mean to you to be among those incredible names who are already in it?
You know, it was actually never a big goal of mine to be in the Hall of Fame because I thought that was so out of reach. And I had a great year in 2022, and that inched me closer to the Hall of Fame, and a goal that necessarily I thought was not realistic became like a possibility. And I think last year I struggled, and you know, it was in some ways I wasn't sure if I'd ever be able to win again. And after a year like last year, I actually realized that it is actually my goal to try and get into the Hall of Fame, but not end my goal there. As long as I'm competitively playing, I want to win as much as I can and compete at the highest level. And I want to retire still loving the game and still playing well, not because I feel I can't compete anymore. So golf has given me so much, so I really want to leave it at the same time on such a good note. And you know, that might be like more selfish and hard to do, but I think it's a goal of mine, and I don't want my goal to just stop at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that makes sense. I saw your podcast with Drew and Colt, and it was kind of interesting you had mentioned that as well. I like that perspective. And then finally, this is something I ask everyone who comes on this: a high of your career, like a specific moment, a low, and something that you've learned.
Ooh. A high. Too many, like it's like hard to.
You've had a lot. I would think. Yeah.
I would say one of my, like I guess, most recent highs would be winning the CME Tour Championship in 2022. It was the last win as a single woman, and my fiance, now husband, was there, and he hasn't come out to like that many events, and that has been the only one where he's been, and I have won. So it was really cool to celebrate that with him there, and my sister and my mom, and you know, my brother-in-law and my dad, like celebrating in Korea. So I would say that's probably one of like the biggest one, because you know, in a month it was going to be one of the biggest days of my life, and all of the people I loved was there with me. So it's probably a high. A low is I think the U.S. Women's Open in Cordoval in maybe 2016. I was leading, I think, with 9 or 10 holes to go, and I think I made like a triple or something on the 9th hole of the last day. And I think because of that, I think I was so flustered, I kind of lost it in the last 9 holes, where actually I only finished 2 shots behind the playoff. So if I'd actually gotten it together and been like, hey, you know what, I made that mistake, I still got 9 holes, I think I could have like played myself into the playoffs. So I wish I had like a better mindset then. And to have the opportunity to win the U.S. Women's Open doesn't come very often. So I would say that one is kind of a low. And the thing I've learned is that it's honestly so hard. I think in some ways, like, you know, Nelly winning 5 times, I'm sure other people are gonna think, wow, like it must be so easy. But I'm sure for her, as much as I'm sure some points may have, like parts of those times may have felt easy, like winning once nor 5 times, it was like not easy. So I think the thing I've learned is that this whole journey is definitely not easy, and you can't take things for granted, and you just never know what's going to happen. But if there's always a low point, the good thing is there's always space to get up. So I feel like I'm still learning to understand that better now, but that is probably my biggest thing is when I was younger. I don't think you really grasp it because a bad day just seems like a bad day.
Right. Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really appreciate you answering these questions.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for watching The Scoop. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because we have a lot of fun guests coming your way.